light be with you. Today seems like a good opportunity to earn some coin. Perhaps if we can pick up some gathering professions, I believe I could make quite a bit of coin. Please remember to subscribe and like this video, it really means the world to me. And it helps me maintain our holy vows, of course. Now, as far as professions go, we are slightly limited. I thought about, well, I could do tailoring, I'm a priest, I could wear the clothes that I can craft. It's going to be very difficult to do tailoring, for example, because in order to get your cloth you typically have to defeat humanoid characters without the ability to slaughter beasts. Likewise, skinning is probably off the table. This likely rules out leatherworking. Well, what about enchanting? I could do enchanting. Well, the problem with enchanting is most greens drop from enemies, so I would have to kill enemies in order to get the greens to disenchant them, or I could craft something with tailoring and disenchanted, but again, we've ruled out tailoring already, that's going to be difficult. We could also do blacksmithing and engineering. But engineering is usually for PvP, and blacksmithing is usually for plate wearers, so I don't really think I'd get much benefit from that. So it does seem like, in this challenge, we are going to have to do alchemy and herbalism. Those are the professions we're going to do. However, there is a problem. We don't really have much money. While I could go and collect herbs, I don't really want to then auction or vendor those herbs in order to make money, because I'll need them for potions. So what I end up doing is I head over to Stormwind, to the Dwarven District, and I pick up mining. I then head over to the Mage Quarter and I pick up herbalism. And now I'm going to venture into Elwynn Forest, and I am going to look for herbs and ores. That's right, I am going to do both mining and herbalism simultaneously. Turns out it's not actually as easy to locate these herbs and ores as I first thought. You actually have to track them with find herbs or find ores. They don't just appear on your minimap. I need to collect my herbs so I can save them up for my alchemical adventures, and I need the ores so I can make some money right now. To make matters worse, many of the herbs in Elwynn Forest, well, they're earthroot, and I can't pick earthroot yet. On top of that, many beasts of the land and defias infidels keep trying to interrupt me. My first ore. How very exciting, especially for someone like me, for I am not able to do battle with the wild beasts and the bandits of Elwynn Forest, meaning there are many of these ores and herbs that are just not in a suitable place for me to access. I'm also competing with other players, and these other players, unlike me, they are not restricted, and they're able to, well, they can kill whatever they want, I suppose. And yet, Saint Scorp, the most holy of human priests, I must be very kind, even when they are snatching the ores right from under my nose. In fact, I'll go so far as to give them my blessings. So I traveled far and wide. If you are out there and you're looking to do gathering professions, neat little trick for you guys. If you find minerals to mouse wheel scroll up, and then find herbs to mouse wheel scroll down, and then just constantly spam the mouse wheel up and down at all times, well, it makes it very easy to track both, and you get the best of both worlds. I think it is prudent that we go over the holy commandments. We must harm no creatures. We must sacrifice for others, doing everything within reason to save lives. We must not beg for carries or aid from anyone. Now, with our vows intact, let us begin. During my gathering tasks, I did come across a few interesting individuals. Firstly, we had Ultra Tobias. This warrior was possibly doing some sort of monk challenge, and I was very conflicted here because as I ran up to him, his health was actually very low. The boar was really going at it. This rock-height boar was not afraid and was pummeling him. I got a little worried because our friend Ultra Tobias here, well, he was about to die at one point. Now, if I heal him, then that might ruin his challenge, and I didn't really want to interfere in his battle. But luckily, he didn't die. Luckily, he leveled, in fact, and survived, and I was very pleased. Now, that would have been very awkward and a very sad way to have to give away half of my wealth, wouldn't it now? Then at one point, as I swam towards a copper ore, I noticed another player doing the exact same thing. But being the good-natured priest I am, I simply blessed them and went about my day. When they whispered me, I realized they were Chinese or whatever that symbol means. I had no choice. I had to know what he'd said. Was he mocking me? Or was he being kind? So I quickly screenshotted it, stuck it in ChatGPT, and once I realized what he was meaning, I sent my own little message back to him, in his native tongue, as they say. He didn't respond, so it could have been a bot. I suppose we'll never know. In the Fargodeep mine, I spent a good amount of time, and I actually came upon a mage called Frozen Cheese. Now this mage here, it seemed like they were standing outside the cave and weren't quite sure about whether they should go in. I thought this might be a great opportunity. If I could convince them to help me, well, obviously not help me, but if I could ask if they need aid and then I could follow them along while they do their quests in the Fargodeep mine, perhaps I could earn some gold dust while I'm in there as well. Maybe even collect some copper coins. Frozen Cheese did actually agree to go into the cave with me, but it seemed like Frozen Cheese didn't want to invite me to the group, so I wasn't getting any gold dust whatsoever. All I got was a single vial of mage water, which, you know, I guess that's nice, I suppose. We weren't getting anywhere, or at least I wasn't. So eventually I sort of left her behind and hoped she didn't die. I followed this other guy, this friendly warrior, and I asked him if he needed any help. But he said no. And then he asked if I need any help. Now, I don't know if I could really say yes. If I say yes, would that be cheating? Anyway, I thought, you know, if I run up to someone and ask if they need help, and then they ask if I need help, then can I say that? I don't know. Please comment below if I'm allowed to do that. Anyway, at this point in time, I just said, I can't say. I literally could not answer because I didn't know whether I should. I mean, if I run up to someone, right, and I say, do you need help? And they say no. And then I just stand next to them. And then they ask if I need help. You know, am I sort of causing that to take effect? Is that me, like, weaseling my way in there into their group? So, I don't know, comment below if you guys think that I'm allowed to do that. If someone offers to help me, or if someone asks me if I need help, can I say yes? Is that allowed? I mean, you know, we've got to be careful with this. I do not want to break one of the holy commandments. They are not up for interpretation. I then sat there in Goldshire Town's blacksmith and just smelted all 102 copper ore, creating 102 copper bars, which I gleefully attempted to auction on the auction house. Each one was going for well over 2 silver, and I knew that if they sold, I'd be making a fortune. All that time spent gathering ore had really paid off, and I was about to be the richest level 7 you've ever seen. While there, I also sold that small lustrous pearl that Meatball had given me that one time, I suppose last episode actually. It was quite depressing to think about, really. I haven't seen Meatballs again since, and to be honest with you, I don't know if that friendly gnome is coming back. That might be the last we've heard of Meatball. Perhaps I should have kept that small lustrous pearl as a reminder of our friendship. But unfortunately, I wasn't really thinking straight at that moment, and I simply auctioned it like it had no sentimental value whatsoever. While collecting all this copper, I had collected many herbs, and I now had over 2 stacks of silverleaf, a fair amount of peace bloom, and a goodly amount of earthroot. I was going to hoard this, and when the bank is full of herbs, my plan is to drop mining entirely and just pick up alchemy instead. And then I can convert all my herbs into potions and elixirs, and the hope is that I can make a bunch of money from that. The light doesn't say anything about capitalism, so I'm going to take full advantage of the game mechanics still available to me. The next morning, I woke up like a child on Christmas Day, and I ran right over to the mailbox. Would you look at that? So much money. Lovely jubbly, as they say. I opened all that money and watched as it filled my bags. I had over 3 gold. That's a lot of money at level 7. Well, I did what every poor person who's suddenly come into a lot of money does. And I went shopping. I splashed out on a new robe and some leggings. I even bought a new cloak. To top it all off, I bought a formal white shirt. I also went to the cloth armor merchant and bought a few upgrades there too. And let me tell you guys, it was well worth it. I look like a true adventurer now. Finally, what I did is I went and bought some woolen bags off the auction house. Quite an upgrade over my 6-slot linen bags. These would serve me very nicely and allow me to collect even more herbs and ore. Now guys, I just want to have a quick chat about what we're doing next time, okay? Long term, I do want to continue this series, but it's going to be very difficult, I have a feeling. You see, I've been hearing some demoralizing statements that have been made. It turns out that a lot of people don't like to do dead mines until level 20 in hardcore because of the innate risk of doing it at low level. It makes sense. The last boss is level 20 himself. So, it might be difficult for Saint Scorp to get into a dead mines group at level 15. Now, don't worry guys. I have a plan. Now that I'm all geared up and I have money, I'm going to really have to come up with a better way of getting these quests done. I don't think running up to people and asking if they need help is really working. If I can trick someone into inviting me into a group under the pretense that I'm healing them, when really they're actually just my meat shield who's doing all the damage, then perhaps I can get past these pesky commandments and get my damned quests completed. So I think that is the goal. We'll use Dunmorrow and Elwynn first. We will advertise our services as a holy priest of the light. We will get those quests done, and then we can quest in Westfall. Once those quest chains are completed, we can then dip our toes into the dead mines. I have no idea if we're even going to survive that long, but I have to try. If I can get into dead mines, I can start getting real experience. And also, the more gear I'll acquire and the more money as well, I could do dead mines as many times as necessary until I am level 20 even. Then we could try our hand at Wailing Caverns. Just kidding, we are probably not going to do Wailing Caverns, but Shadowfang Keep could be an option. So guys, I think we are in the hardest part of this challenge. All I need to do is get high enough level that I can enter dungeons, and perhaps then I will be able to reach level 60 via dungeons. I am literally gonna have to learn how to heal, I suppose, and there's a high risk of death. Now, my friends, I must ask a great sacrifice of all of you. Just as I sacrifice my entire being to the holy light, I must ask that each and every one of you, my disciples, I must ask you to sacrifice just 10 seconds of your time to not only hit that like button and subscribe, but also please open the video in a second tab and watch it again so I get higher watch time on the video. Thank you, and please comment below. Just say anything. Just name your favorite fruit. You know what?